What's up, everybody? Books Nelson here with another State of My Team video. Now, getting right into the content, I don't want to rehash everything we've gone over because those of you who've watched this channel totally expected this drop to come, right? We said this would likely happen. The fantasy that we've laid out, that the design of marketing scheme is to get 100 overall starting lineup and really entice every single, every drop of blood out of the pay piggies. So, and I say that I'm not even speaking derogatory about the whales. I'm saying that's how they look at it, right? It's like, like an OnlyFans thing, like you're the pay piggy, right? So they're trying to get every drop out of the whales, and this is the plan to do it, the fantasy of an overall 100 lineup, right? So we know that there's most likely at least one more 100 overall before they pivot away from this. If they do, I could be wrong. They could never pivot away from this. My suspicion is this is designed for this period. And after the true point guard, because it's an SGPG, there'll be a PG SG next. Probably Magic Johnson with new six. That's just a guess. But that'll be next. And then they can shut it down and go back, and they'll start the apology tour, right? So quick recap. In an effort to recoup a 7% loss, 2K scrapped the original plan to have the players in the player market and lock the player market and only had the players available from gambling packs. So the reason I'm making this video is because there's a difference between doing this once or twice and doing this for an entire month. And now that we're at the fourth character, right, the fourth card that they're doing this with, Michael Jordan, now it's a month. So what does doing this for a month actually mean? This means that we can now confirm that this is a resource drain strategy, right? And when I say resource drain strategy, I mean globally for the entire community. This is designed to drain all of your resources, right? All the money you're going to spend on the game, all of the MT you're going to rip on packs, everything they've released, that Devin Booker, the Steph Curry, the promo packs, which is just the super pack, the promo pack, all of these things are just designed to keep pulling from your resources to bring you down and down and down as close to zero as possible. So that when they start the new stuff, they can, for the people that are engaged, they can guarantee that most of them aren't starting from like a nest egg, right? So anyway, the thing I want to stress is 2K knows the numbers, right? So shout out to DBG. I like DBG, and I think his heart is in the right place. But today he made a video talking about how this is bad marketing and so on and so forth. And I don't want the community to ever make this mistake of underestimating 2K, right? So they know exactly how much MT you have, how much MT you've spent down to the digital penny, and most importantly, how much MT you're likely to earn and spend, right? They know how much MT is earned from playing the game. And so they know how much time you'll play, how much MT you'll spend, and all of this is balanced around their content, right? So now that they know that only the very extreme minority don't gamble at all. And when I say don't gamble at all, I mean even with MT, right? Because if you have nothing to spend the MT on, this is why we're locked out of the market, right? If there was a really, really good collection for you to grab, then people would be saving their MT for that good collection, locking that in, getting, whatever was fair from that collection, and then they'd be happy. That's not what they want right now. They want to see the limits of how much they can drain your resources. So the market is extremely unfair, but it's also the only way to spend your MT right now. Because it's actually almost logical for you to do so. And again, this isn't me promoting this or being in favor of it. I'm just analyzing what's going on. If you had money saved up to buy something, but that thing wasn't going to be available for a month, and you were going to still earn money during that month, well, now you can spend that earning money on luxuries or gambling, right? Well, since I already saved up for my TV and it's not out for a month and I'll be working during that month, there's no harm in spending some of that money on Prize Picks, right? That's the design of this whole thing. So, knowing that and going through that and knowing that they're grabbing it, so now we have to analyze what's behind all of this, right? So when I say 2K has the numbers, there's a very important factor, like a design of this, a structure to this, that I want everybody to understand so that going forward, you guys can make the best decisions for yourselves. So when I say 2K has the numbers, don't just take that as a blanket statement. Understand that that represents a department and a number of individuals who are well paid to do that job of gathering numbers, analyzing numbers, presenting those numbers, and helping to inform a strategy based on those numbers. A lot of people, so DBG said this was stupid marketing. Actually, the opposite is true. 2K is filled with geniuses literally in every department that they have. So when this department that is very, very well paid is going out and gathering these numbers and helping to, make these decisions, they are surgically attacking you. And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I don't want you guys reacting emotionally while they're acting strategically. I want the community to respond strategically to strategic action, right? So they drain your resources, they get it all the way down, they have the numbers to decide how much you'll spend and how long this will go on for. So what is this period right here? This period right here is where they're limit testing. So for the whales, they're testing, well, let's not even talk about the whales. It's not even about how much money you have or whatever. It's really your reason for playing the game, right? For some people, this is a hobby that they can put down. And it's like, oh, I don't like what they're doing in my team. I'm going to go play something else, right? I'll play Helldivers. But for other people, you're more invested in the game. Now, that investment is on a spectrum of healthy and unhealthy. And this is where you as the community have to be really, really honest about your relationship with this game, because 2K has data on that, right? So if you're a person who likes the gambling, you have to be honest that you're addicted to the gambling aspect of the game. If you're a person who gets a dopamine release from getting a new card, if you're a person who gets a dopamine release from achieving an objective, right? Oh, I finally got that Oladipo, right? Did all my Paul George objectives. That makes me feel good. And I need that feel good feeling from this game. Whatever it is, understand that that feeling that keeps you tied into it, whatever makes you feel good about this game, 2K is testing the limit of that to see just how far they can go, right? That's the period that we're in. I'm not going to say they're trying to break you. They're trying to bend you until they think you're about to break you. And that's when the apology tour will start, right? That's where they'll start bringing in this content. And it's important to understand that, because companies like 2K are getting more and more savvy with connecting the art to the business. There's something you have to really understand. I want to focus on the intelligence of 2K and the intelligence of their strategies, and how this is always usually, not always, but usually really well thought out. Everything in this game is done by a specialist in art, a specialist in game design, a specialist in engineering. And that stuff takes months and sometimes years to put together, right? So yeah, something simple like card art might be rather quick, but something like putting together a brand new character model takes a lot longer. And so the shareholders can't go to the art departments and the creative departments and say, I need you to do this, because the shareholders don't understand enough about making the game. The shareholders have their demands, and then they go to the in-between guys, and then the in-between guys have enough knowledge of the game to make demands that don't destroy years of work, right? Because anything that takes longer than a week to do, you're probably talking about it costing hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to do. And a company cannot, no matter how much money they have, they cannot afford to repeatedly clear the desk on millions and millions of dollars worth of work. So when they make demands and they come up with a strategy like this to drain your resources, it is a surgical attack that not only is designed to find out your limits, but it's also designed to preserve whatever long-term plans they have. And understanding your enemy and the fact that 2K has a plan A, B, C, all the way down to D, that is really important in you see that Michael Jordan card, you see the gambling, you feel really emotional, but you let that go. You understand the situation you're in, and you respond strategically to a strategic attack, right? So let's talk about the rush content for a second, because I keep talking about this apology tour, and this is an important thing. So the rush content, if you guys notice, they were very quick to respond to the demands of the community that the rush content grind was too much. It was just too many games in too short of a time. Nobody's going to take this game like a full-time job, especially when we're already mad at you, right? So they fixed that immediately, and they made it much easier to the point that pretty much anyone can get the Opal Reeves and the Opal James Worthy. Why did they do this? They need you engaged, right? Without anybody for the whales to feed on, this all comes tumbling down. They want you engaged. So in a sense, the apology tour has already started. Now, it's not the true apology tour, because that'll take place when we can look at the game and say objectively the content's good. You can get most of the cards that you want in the player market. I do think that that will happen again at some point, and that'll be the apology tour when this model is no longer a major factor in the game. But while this is going on, they cannot afford to completely abandon and have engagement be abandoned by the larger player base. They need They need something for you to do, something that's rewarding, something that genuinely feels good. And so they responded very quickly with this rush content because they need you playing the game. And that's something that I wanted to address, because I think a lot of people's reaction to this content is to the Michael Jordan 100 content is, well, I'm just not going to play the game anymore. And I'm not speaking against that in any way. I just want to talk about this from a strategic standpoint, right? If you leave the game, 2K officially doesn't care about you, because marketing is done in what's called a funnel strategy, right? And so when you leave, you're on the open part of the funnel, which puts you into a different strategic context, right? When you're in the casino, so to speak, you're on the other side of the funnel. You're in the casino, and your actions inside the casino matter very much. So if you want your actions to matter, if you actually are enjoying the game in any way, and you want to continue to play the game, leaving the game doesn't solve anything outside of the fact that it might make you personally feel better. And if that's the case, I do support that. But if you'd rather play the game and you're actually enjoying the game, and the fact that this content is out just annoys you and you want to stick it to 2K, in that sense, leaving is not the answer. The answer is to stay in the casino, because inside of the casino is where your actions matter, right? Now, I can understand the 2K community often feels powerless in these situations because it's never really happened in the 2K community before, but it's happened in a lot of other gaming communities, right? And so the concept is basically this. Let's say you're in the casino and there's a row of slot machines that nobody plays. Those slot machines will be taken out. They'll have their artwork updated. They'll figure out the bells and the whistles. Maybe they'll, change the prize pot. They'll do something, because they're like, these people are in the casinos and they're not touching these machines, and we have to fix that because these machines are now a drain on our resources, right? We paid all these money for these machines. We paid for the real estate to have the machines here, right? This whole side of the room, nobody's touching them. That's a problem for us, because the people are here and there's money in their pockets. And we need that money in our pockets. And that is the power that the community has, because the community can always control how the community behaves, right? And this is where I understand the frustration, but the rant videos do not accomplish anything, because any publicity is good publicity to a degree. They don't care how mad you are if it doesn't result in action, right? What they're afraid of is a lack of engagement. That's more terrifying, right? So while they are scared of you leaving, until you actually leave, they don't care. And then once you do leave, they turn their attention to the people who are still inside the casino, right? And you, again, will be part of a funneling strategy to get you back in, which is separate from what's happening here, all right? So I wanted to leave you guys with just like a thing you can do to help make this all better, right? And staying with the analogy, if you're in the casino, but all you're doing is enjoying the buffalo wings and hitting on the waitresses, they go into emergency mode figuring how to get you to gamble, right? But if you're saying the gambling's not worth my time, every time I come to this casino, I get fleeced and I go home and, my wife has a lot of mean things to say to me. If that's happening to the point that you stop spending, they will change it. They will shift the odds. They say the house always wins, but only if you're playing, right? So what does the community need to do? Now, last time I outlined what really needs to happen. You guys need to ban the cards. This has been done in many a competitive community before, The 2K community just hasn't done it. So what's the first step to doing that? The first step, honestly, is for you guys who are in these communities with content creators to discuss this idea with your content creators and tell them how much you'd love to just flat out ban the cards in a competitive context. Because I promise you, and I'm gonna name names here, I'm not attacking people, this is just hypothetical. If Splash and, Ty Debo and Killsamoy and all of these guys, and I know Killsamoy has no right, but if they saw these cards and got on the mic and said, hey, you gotta bench that card, otherwise I'm not playing this game, if they're unlimited, or if they saw that card in clutch time and they were like, hey, sorry bro, but I can't give you a game with that card. That card's banned in the community. So I'm just gonna sit here and take 24-second violations and you can take the W, but you're not allowed to play the game with that card. Seeing that on stream, if you don't think that would move something in the community, you have not seen how communities work and change things in the gaming industry. All right, so don't get mad, get active. Emotions make you really easy to manipulate. But at the end of the day, you're the community. You decide how you engage with the game, and that is a superpower that the 2K community is not used to activating, but you absolutely can. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for a big pack opening. I'm totally kidding, not gonna do that. But I do wanna say thank you so much for the support. It's been incredible how you guys have supported this channel. Hopefully very soon, we'll be able to talk about exciting content that's really engaging, and we'll be doing more about card breakdowns, and I can do the stuff I really enjoy with the game. But until then, I think the best move is for the community to figure out how to respond to these strategic attacks. All right, thanks so much guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.